So today we'll be taking a look at a handful of stories involving Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Asuka, and more. Let's start things off with Bobby Lashley because this is a topic that has a lot of fans discussing. For the majority of 2021 and even going back into 2020, Bobby Lashley was carefully protected and quickly made his way to becoming WWE Champion for the first time in his career. He had a dominant run as United States Champion and was never pinned to lose a title. Remember, it was a triple threat match, so he wasn't involved in that pin. Lashley and MVP then turned their attention to working with The Miz to help him have a successful cash-in, as long as The Miz promised to give Lashley the first crack at the WWE title. So Lashley took out McIntyre, The Miz cashed in, and Lashley defeated The Miz to become WWE Champion shortly after that. Then Lashley remained on top of Raw as WWE Champion, defeating the likes of Kofi Kingston, Drew McIntyre, and more along the way. Lashley even picked up the win over Goldberg. It had been a while since Lashley was pinned, and he had a strong streak going. But ever since Big E's cash-in, Lashley can't stop getting pinned and can't stop losing. It's something that the fans are starting to pick up on. He lost the cash-in to Big E, he was pinned by Roman Reigns on Raw, and then pinned again by Big E during the cage match. So fans are just talking about it because it was such a complete 180 that happened so fast. Bobby Lashley went from being someone who never gets pinned to getting pinned multiple times within a few weeks. Very strange. And now, obviously, Goldberg will take on Bobby Lashley again at Crown Jewel. And for Bobby Lashley, this is extremely scary and could be another pinfall loss. There's no more title on the line. It's just Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel. Goldberg has already promised to completely take Bobby Lashley out. And Goldberg is of course avenging his son for what Lashley did to him at SummerSlam. It really does feel like Goldberg wins here, just so that he can avenge his son and have a good ending to the story. But once again, another pinfall loss, especially to Goldberg, would be devastating for Bobby Lashley. All of those possible losses has fans wondering if this is a punishment. Did he get someone upset? What went wrong? Things just don't really add up here. Yes, he is coming off losing the WWE Championship, but he doesn't have to go free-falling down the ladder like this with so many losses. Just look at Drew McIntyre. He lost the WWE title, but was perfectly protected after the loss, that he still feels like a top threat to a world title. Lashley, on the other hand, with this massive losing streak, could lose a lot of momentum if he just keeps losing like this. So Crown Jewel will tell us a lot about where Bobby Lashley is going to next. Will they really give him 2 wins over Goldberg, or is Lashley taking another pinfall? Pay close attention to that match outcome at Crown Jewel. Asuka has been quietly missing ever since she competed back in July at WWE Money in the Bank. Asuka took part in that match before completely vanishing from WWE. There's a lot of conflicting reports on the reasoning behind her absence, so no one seems to know what's going on for sure. But there already are some theories out there for some perfect ways to reintroduce Asuka. Asuka will most likely go undrafted since she's inactive right now, but chances are she can stay on Raw. Becky Lynch will be coming over to Raw and will most likely switch titles with Charlotte Flair, who has been drafted to Smackdown. So Becky comes back to Raw as Raw Women's Champion, the title still technically never lost. Remember that Becky relinquished the title and handed it over to Asuka in May of 2020, so one of the rumored returns for Asuka is for her to confront Becky Lynch and try to take that title away from her again, but this time during a match. They shared a special moment together when Becky passed the title on to her last year. But Becky is back and now she's a cocky heel, so maybe Asuka thinks that she has time to go in there and humble Becky down a bit. So if Asuka stays on Raw, that'll be a great feud for Becky to have that will relate back to the night of her pregnancy announcement. So just some great connections and potential story there if they do have Becky Lynch versus Asuka. As far as the women's division goes, Let's take a look at some of the top changes. They're starting off with the top of the division. WWE has swapped both women's champions. Charlotte Flair is now champion of Smackdown, and Becky Lynch very well could be the champion of Raw. WWE did this last year, but with tag team champions, where they were drafted to opposite brands, so they just exchanged titles. That's most likely what we'll see here be done with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. As far as the updated rosters for the rest of the women's division, let's take a look at where it stands right now. Raw has Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, Doudrop, Nia Jax, Zelina Vega, and Becky Lynch. SmackDown has Aaliyah, Toni Storm, Naomi, and Charlotte Flair. This is being done before night 2 of the draft, so there might be some big free agents still hanging around. Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, and others are still undrafted as well as of this very moment. So the draft shakes things up a bit for the Raw women's division that was running on fumes, but hopefully they continue to add on some more picks across both brands. Kevin Steen was trending this weekend, which was the previous name that Kevin Owens used to go by before joining WWE. Reason why it went trending is because fans seem to be fully convinced that Kevin is done with WWE once his contract expires in January, and that we'll see Kevin Steen show up on AEW. Kevin Owens really got those rumors going by changing his Twitter location to Almost There, while AEW's Young Bucks changed their Twitter location to There. So that whole situation really got fans wondering if Kevin Owens is considering jumping ship to AEW once January rolls around. Kevin Owens is also taking part in a strange story with Happy Corbin and his new sidekick. He's losing a lot of matches, and fans are wondering if this is the beginning of the entire "you're leaving us anyways, so let's put you on a losing streak" sort of thing that we've seen happen with other superstars in the past. But January is still far away. Despite this goofy storyline and losses, there's still a lot of negotiation time for WWE to talk to Kevin Owens into staying with WWE. WWE was extremely disappointed that they couldn't convince Adam Cole to stay, so it makes you assume that they will put on a good fight to get Kevin Owens to stay as well. But similar to Adam Cole, it will be, of course, all coming down to the talent's final decision and what makes them happy. Does Kevin Owens look to extend his contract, or is he leaning more towards exiting WWE? As it stands right now, it can honestly go either way. He can definitely stay and extend his deal, or maybe it could be like Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole's situation, where he's after a new set of challenges and fresh matchups over on AEW. So just a handful of stories to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on Bobby Lashley and his losing streak, some of the free agents in the women's division, and Kevin Owens. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.